This is the space I can go to when I need to work on a job application. This is the space that I can go to when I need some type of help with housing resources. This is the space that I can go to when I'm in a time of need and I need support, as opposed to this is the place that I need to go to make sure I don't get arrested to go back to court.
Supervised release is a form of pre-trial supervision. We are providing the supervision to ensure that people can be released to us rather than face pre-trial detention at Rikers Island.
For most people, what it means they can return home to their communities.
So we've been operating the supervised release program here in Brooklyn for a number of years. And throughout that time, our offices have been located in and around the Brooklyn courthouses. Downtown can be a very triggering area for a lot of the folks that we work with. It's an area where they associate with policing and with the court system. As we grew larger, we ran out of space, quite frankly. Where are we going to do this? What are we going to consider in making this decision?
We had additional funding, we had a growing team, and we thought to ourselves, what do we want to look like? And we wanted to incorporate into this program more of a community-based service.
This is the community site that focuses primarily on bringing needed services to participants in a community where they work, where they live. And it's a really intentional process of being able to divert ourselves away from the courthouse area of downtown Brooklyn and being in an area where participants feel more welcome.
The East New York site came about really through a pretty robust, holistic strategic planning process. Where can we have the most impact? Where can we best leverage our existing center resources? And so we started looking at the data. We're very fortunate to have at the Center for Justice Innovation a really robust data analytics and applied research team.
We collect data on whether there's mental health need or employment need, whether they were missing check-ins, or if the location was too far away by bus or train. On its own, they're just single data points. But as you zoom out and you can see a whole neighborhood with a high rate of missing check-ins and a high rate of employment need, then you could kind of take a step back and be like, we need to provide more services there.
The other side of our expertise we were able to leverage is the community side. By going into the community and seeing the sites that were available and bringing in participants and staff from the Brownsville Community Justice Center, those were all part of our process in considering.
My role in creating this space was being instrumental in thinking about the layout and the flow of how we want our participants to be able to come into the space to feel as an individual, not just another court case number or a docket number. I worked previously at the Brownsville Community Justice Center for about 4.5 years, and prior to us coming to this location, myself and a lot of the other staff that work here were stationed out of there.
We begin meeting with our own participants within supervised release out of their site. We began doing check-ins, connecting them to care in the community, and really leveraging those relationships that Brownsville had already created.
Our preparation looked like pretty much just spreading the word and letting people know that, hey, we do have an office that we do now offer check-ins available to, rather than participants having to go downtown to check in.
A lot of the folks that you see that work here at this location, they live in or around the community themselves.
I grew up in East New York and Brownsville area.
And I'm from East New York. This is my home. This is my community.
I grew up in East New York, and being committed to being part of a community, to give back to a community which has accepted us, I think that's important. And that only happens if you're welcomed in.
Go out into the field, into the community, and meet participants where they are. We also bring care packages in the community, just trying to build trust.
We also have a community hub that is adjacent to our main site. There we get to hold classes and bring in community partners so that they can bring in their services.
Helping participants navigate things like applications and stuff like that, or helping them out. They have a food insecurity.
Also have a barber coming out here every now and then, like we did today, providing haircuts to our participants. One of our participants left here with his daughter was on his way to court, stopped by here to get a haircut before his court appearance.
Our work at Livonia in East New York today is not going to be what it is 3 years from now. There are things that we are learning from each other, from our participants, from our staff, from our community members that build on that platform which we have built in East New York.
That's what community justice is like the ability to say, what do the systems need? What does the community need? And then use all of the resources at our disposal to make that happen.